My name's Joanne Kaar. I'm a paper maker and I'm from Caithness, and I live just up the road from Marianne's cottage, and I've been fascinated by this place for quite a few years. When we're sat in Marianne's cottage at the moment, this place was built, it's been in Marianne's family for about 150 years, and they didn't throw anything away. It's traditional crofting way of life. So it's now open to the public, and it's just been left as if Marianne is just about to come back. All her stuff, the chairs set out as if she's been sat by the fire and just gone out to get some peats. I started drawing every artefact in the cottage, and I went off and did other projects, and starting to look through my sketchbooks, thought about what to do next, and I was fascinated by a sea chest that is in the cottage, and there's a painting of a ship, the Westland. The sea chest belonged to Marianne's father, William Young, and he was a crew member on the Westland's maiden voyage in 1879, and it sailed from Scotland to New Zealand. And I've been following its voyage, and I've linked up with an artist in New Zealand, Lynn Taylor. So we're both obsessed now with the Westland ship. She's been studying life for immigrants as they arrived in New Zealand, in Port Chalmers. And I've been studying the life of the crofter and William's family here in Dunnet in Caithness. Part of my research, after I've done my drawings, I start to make artefacts. And we've been starting to experiment with paper, using different fibres that I find locally. And so as well as making things from horsehair, I've been using heather, I've been using grasses, anything I can find that might have been used on the croft. But I've started to make things, imaginary things that William might have had in his sea chest. So for part of it, I've made a paper jacket from peat, so it's peat paper. You could actually wear it. It's adult size, and I've also made other things, studying the voyage of the Westland, a logbook following the same 80 days as the voyage, documenting the ships in the Pentland Firth, things that are happening now as well as things that happened in 1879. But also Lynn in New Zealand, the other artist I'm working with, she's also done a logbook to follow the same 80 days. One of the passengers on the Westland wrote a diary, Jonathan Moscrop, and one of the particular dates in the diary was an event that happened on the 27th of February 1879, and it marks 1 month into the voyage. When the crew members sign up for a trip, they are paid a month's wages in advance. It's kind of a contract. So for the first month at sea, the sailors feel like they're working for nothing. So the captain is said to be flogging a dead horse. It's not really true. They've already had their money. They've just got to work for it now. So after 1 month, they have a ceremony, and they call it burying the dead horse. And on the Westland, from the diaries, I know that the crew, which William Young would have been involved in, Marianne's father, they made a horse from string and a piece of old pipe. They auctioned it on that day, and in the diaries it tells us that the highest bidder was 5 bottles of whiskey. So I think they got very drunk. They set fire to the horse and threw it overboard and watched it going into the distance. So that's where the saying, flogging a dead horse, comes from. So I've imagined that these 5 bottles were tossed overboard, and I like beachcombing, so I've collected 5 bottles from Dunnet Beach and made labels to do with the ship on them. And I've also made a very elaborate string horse. This year marks the 130 years anniversary of the sailing of the Westland. So we decided to ask people to make paper boats. I thought everybody can make a paper boat, and anybody can get involved. And we started a blog and put a call out to the rest of the world to send me a paper boat. And as boats arrived, I've been photographing them, putting them on a paper boat blog, and these boats have been sailing from all over. It's been amazing. I had, I think, 20 paper boat makers from 23 different countries, and I think this week we've had the 100th boat maker sent in their boats. But I've had them from Pakistan, Indonesia, New Zealand, America, all over, as well as some local ones. These boats will be for sale by secret silent auction in Caithness Horizons when we have our exhibition in September. And if you can't visit the exhibition, you'll be able to email your bids on to Caithness Horizons, and the highest bidder will be in touch and will send you your boat.